Check, 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 check. Good evening and welcome to the Spreadsheet. I'm your host, Robbie Rackleff, and this is a special emergency edition. You can tell by the red light that I'm wearing on my head that this is an emergency. This is not the regular video game news that we bring to you on EGI2 on Twitch. This is EGI. This is the Spreadsheet. Apparently the mics are a little bit quiet. Can we hear the mics? Oh, music is too loud. Mics are too soft. Music's too loud, right? So we're doing our best here. This is the first time that we've done it. Music beautiful but loud. Mic loud enough? Are people hearing now? Is everything okay? Are people hearing? It's just quiet. That's what people are saying. It's just quiet. And this is the Spreadsheet. So this is just one special emergency broadcast for the Spreadsheet. This is the Spreadsheet, of course, that if you've ever watched the former television, the show that we had on AdultSwim.com, which was electronic game information, we had a special Spreadsheet segment that we would do where I would explain the games that I have purchased over the years, plus how much time I spent playing those games versus how much I've paid for those games, with the end goal, of course, being that we have to get $1 for every 1 hour of gameplay. $1 for every hour of gameplay. That's $1 for every hour of enjoyment. $1 for every hour of $1 for every hour of we've got a little bit. We've got to up a little bit more music. This is the first time that we've been doing it from the Spreadsheet headquarters. This is Spreadsheet. This is if you look around me, there's Spreadsheet. There's $1 per hour. This is Spreadsheet headquarters. And if you are in the chat, if you're out there in the world and you are buying games this holiday season, this special emergency stream is for you and everybody that is not buying games for the holiday season. Maybe you're doing it because you're taking a break from buying games. You bought too many games, and that's also okay. I assume that if you're here, then you've bought some games recently, and we're going to be wanting to talk to everybody who has purchased games over the last two weeks or so, and we'll be asking you how much you paid for your games and how much you've been playing your games. We've got Allan Resnick here with us. Allan, are you in here with us tonight?
Robbie.
Allan, it's wonderful to see you. It's an emergency broadcast.
Can't hear you.
It's an emergency broadcast, so we have to make sure that
Robbie,
we are.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Allan. You're coming loud and clear.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can definitely.
In the chat, if I can be heard.
Allan, if you this is an emergency broadcast, so we're having a little bit of some technical difficulties, but Allan, you should be able to. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Allan. You're looking good. You're sounding excellent. It's an emergency broadcast.
Wait, I'm just not going to talk until he talks.
I'm talking to you, Allan Resnick. It's Allan Resnick in the chat. Allan Resnick.
How's my light doing?
What are people saying in the chat? Are people excited about the spreadsheet, Allan?
I can't hear Robbie. I'll sound off. I'm going to sound off in the chat.
Check. Allan, are you able to understand what I'm saying about the spreadsheet? These are games that I have purchased recently, and they are games that I have or have not been playing enough based on the amount of money that I have spent on them. Great. Thank you so much, Allan. That it's an amazing evening. We're having a lot of fun already. I can sense that people are excited about the games that we'll be talking about and the spreadsheet that we'll be showing off later. But let's go ahead and try again to see if we can get Allan. Allan, can you hear me? Allan, can you hear me? This is the spreadsheet. This is a special broadcast of the spreadsheet. Allan, if you can hear me, go ahead and sound off. People in the chat are obviously very excited about the spreadsheet. They're very excited about the expert testimonies that we'll be hearing from myself and, of course, our special correspondent.
Can you hear me, Robbie?
Allan, I can hear you perfectly fine. I've been able to hear you this entire time.
I can't get my light.
But Allan, can you hear me?
Robbie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Allan. I'm able to see you. I'm able to hear Allan. Robbie, Allan can't hear. People are telling me in the chat that Allan can't hear me, but I can hear Allan.
Well, this is going really well. I'm gonna go. Goodbye,
Allan. We've got Allan in is of course having a bit of an issue with the with hearing the spreadsheet. This is the spreadsheet, of course, that we're talking about over and over. Thank you, Allan. And we are back. So let's go ahead and dive right into the spreadsheet. This is of course, the spreadsheet that we've been waiting to hear about for ever since we've announced the emergency broadcast. And it all started around the weekend of Thanksgiving. And of course, the weekend of Thanksgiving has two special dates within that weekend and without. One date within the weekend and one date without, which is the first, of course, is that the date within is Black Friday, the wonderful holiday extravaganza where the sales begin and the stores are open wide, early. They open early, they open late, and they stay open, and the sales go absolutely bananas. And people love to see it, and people love to hear that. We love to hear it. Cyber Monday is when we come back and we have a complete and utter disregard for the weekend sales before, because we have been waiting and we have been holding on to the cash and the wallets and the tap cards and the RF. When you have when Google Pay, Apple Pay, RF, it's all there. So you go to the store or you stay online, because it's a Cyber Monday. So if stores are closed on Cyber Monday, no one goes out. They stay inside and they purchase the games that they've been wanting to purchase all year, and they have a absolute madness that comes over them. And the madness came over me, folks, and that is what So, Allan, now that we've, of course, talked to we've explained exactly what we're doing here and why we're here, let's hear a little bit of what you have to say about the situation at hand. So we're having a great time, and we're already a lot of people are in the chat. People are having a great time. I can see all of the excitement in people's words that they're typing out in real time here on twitch.tv/EGI_2. And we are going to dive right into it right after we check in, of course, with Allan.
Robbie, can you hear me? I so desperately want you to hear me.
Allan, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Something's wrong with my camera. Okay, I got the light going. Hold on.
Allan, are you able to? This is an emergency broadcast. Yes. Can you hear me?
Why the heck can't I hear Robbie?
Why can't Allan hear Robbie?
Something's wrong with my camera.
Allan, can you hear me? Can we hear me right?
I know.
Can you hear me right now?
It's upside down. Nope.
What about now?
Still upside down. Robbie, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. This is Robbie Rackleff coming to you live from the
Robbie?
Spreadsheet. Allan, can you hear me right now?
Ow.
It's important that we all
I can't hear you,
that these
Robbie, and I
emergency
was very much looking
broadcasts, of
forward
course,
to
are
talking
not
to Robbie and
only
learning about the spreadsheet. I don't know if he's talking or if I am talking. Okay, I'm hoping Robbie's saving a lot of money. I hope he can figure out the tech on the spreadsheet show. It seems to be a little more less intuitive and less smooth of a ship as EGI 2 was. And EGI 2 was already a bit of a rocky road. So back to you, Robbie. I can't hear you.
Allan, if you can hear me, then I would like you to go ahead and sound off on your special report about the spreadsheet and what you've been saying about this, what you've been hoping to hear about the spreadsheet on this emergency broadcast.
It's quite odd. Hold on. Why is it like that? No. There I am. I can't hear you, Robbie. I cannot hear you. Not for the life of me. I can't see you or hear you. So I don't even know if I'm on a show.
Allan,
or
can you?
if I'm just
this
in
is
a room.
Robbie Rackleff
Back
with
to
the
you,
spread.
Robbie.
Back to you, Allan. Thank you so much. And if you can see, I'm going to be. I'm texting you in the chat. So obviously, Allan is not able to hear me. We are definitely trying as best as we can to bring you the late breaking special report that Allan Resnick was going to be bringing us about the spreadsheet. So I will go ahead and begin my own presentation on the spreadsheet, which was again the reason of this special emergency broadcast from Spreadsheet headquarters at EGI twitch.tv/EGI_2. So let's go ahead and talk about what's been happening. Right now we have a first look at the spreadsheet, which is that we have, of course, purchased Outer Worlds for not the first time, but the second time. That thank you. We've got a subscription going on. I think that's what that sound was. A very loud sound just dinged in my ear when I'm trying to talk about the second purchase of the game Outer World. Jesus Lord. We've got the spreadsheet is open. The lines are not open yet. No, Outer Worlds, not Outer Wilds. Thank you very much. I do expect at one point to be purchasing Outer Wilds for Steam on the Steam Deck, but the Outer Worlds was the game that made it to the cart. Let's just say on. Thank you. We've got 100%. There's things are happening right now. The hype trains are taking off the station. There's dinosaurs. There's trains. Twitch is a fully functional platform for entertainment and content delivery, and we are talking about a spreadsheet that I have made, which keeps track of all the games purchases that I make. It keeps track of all. We've got so many sounds happening in my ear right now. Every time somebody, thank you Turbo Zuger, and thank you Hagaki Kiyun. Allan Resnick, did you subscribe? Allan, I do believe you did subscribe. Hopefully that you can see me you can hear me somewhere out there on the Twitch channel EGI_2, and we can keep going with this special emergency broadcast for the spreadsheet, and we are back to talking about none other than the Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is, of course, the open world-ish game from people behind the wonderful behind, of course, Knights of the Old Republic 2 and New Vegas. So the wonderful Outer Worlds game has made its impact on people worldwide. It's been released on every major platform, including the Nintendo Switch, which of course you can see here that I have purchased on the Nintendo Switch for $50, and that is, of course, the $50 fully downloadable content, every bit of downloadable content on that $50 purchase. But you can see here on the spreadsheet for the Nintendo's tab on the spreadsheet that I have not actually been playing any of the Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch. However, if you go back to the Outer Worlds on Steam, which I purchased for $12, you'll also notice that I have not started playing that yet, and therefore you have to consider that I have spent $62 on a game that I have not been able to play yet, is what you think to yourself. But if you have a keen eye, and I know that some of you out there do, if you have a keen eye, then you can look above that line, that row on the spreadsheet, and you can see that I did also purchase the Outer Worlds on Xbox, and I did not actually purchase it. And if you could scroll over a little bit in the row, and if you can maybe see that, so you can't scroll over on the row, it's stuck that way, so you'll be able to just imagine, if you can, if everyone in the chat can just close your eyes, you will notice that I did not spend any money on Outer Worlds for the Xbox because I had Outer Worlds thanks to the Xbox Game Pass. And the Xbox Game Pass I had briefly for free, so that's $0, and I was able to spend about 4 hours on the Outer Worlds for 4 hours for the Outer Worlds on the Xbox. However, if I try to keep the different versions of the Outer Worlds separate from one another in the spreadsheet, because different because of course the different hours that you spend playing each individual version of the Outer Worlds should be counted separately, even though it is all aggregated together at the end of the spreadsheet. So I'm going to go ahead and imagine that I have spent $62. If you can see that there, that's number 62 divided. It's 62 divided by 4, or is it 4 divided by 62? Yeah, so it's 4 divided by 62, and of course you carry the 1. So that is that is exactly $13 per hour that I have spent playing the Outer Worlds 2. And so that is, of course, a major failure on my part on creating that value that I strive to achieve with the spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and open up the phone calls to... We're opening up the phone calls. Go ahead and give us a ring. Hopefully the phone calls do work. We'd love to hear from people viewing who may have their own spreadsheets, or may have learned about the spreadsheet from the spreadsheet and want to discuss what they've been purchasing and if they like what they've been purchasing with the spreadsheet. So we have the phone lines are open. We have a call coming in. Go ahead and accept. Good evening. You're on you're on the spreadsheet.
Hello. Thank you very much for hosting me on the spreadsheet. I'm very excited about it.
I'm glad. So you can hear me fine?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
It's fantastic. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead. We do have another phone call coming in. I'm going to try and not hang up on you. Okay, so we've got you on the line. Where are you calling from? Who are you?
My name's Lex. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston.
I'm a big fan.
Boston, Massachusetts, the city that never sleeps. The lines are open to Boston, Massachusetts, and you're so kind of you for staying up this late on, of course, on a weeknight or a school night. Are you a student, or are you a working slob?
I'm a working slob, but I'm sick right now.
Oh my God! What? And so this is the problem: is that you get sick, and all these Steam sales are happening, and all of these Cyber Monday and Black Friday sales are happening. How do you manage?
How do I manage? Well, I'm trying to watch the spreadsheet so I can know the best value of the game.
So what?
So I can know what I should buy.
Well, so how sick are you? Are you kind of sick where you just kind of lie in bed and just kind of stare off into space sick, or are you the kind of sick that you get up a little bit, maybe go to the couch, drink some tea, drink some soup, drink some hot stuff, maybe put a little bit of extra spicy stuff into the soup or the drink, and feel a little bit better? Maybe watch a movie or play a classic video game or a new video game.
You know, you just kind of described my day to me. I had just had some spicy soup, and now I'm watching one of my favorite shows, EGI2, and I'm kind of starting to feel a little better.
That's excellent news. And let me ask you this once again. What was your name again?
My name is Lex.
Lex, let me ask you, if you were to go ahead and plunk down a couple dollars on a game, what would it be, and how much would you imagine playing it?
If I was gonna... I would try to find a game that was like somehow creative. I could change what I was doing as I was like playing it, kind of. If I could build something in the game or something. And depending on how much capability the game would have, I would maybe spend as much as like $40 on a game that I could make something with.
$40 on a game. And is there a game in particular that you've got your eye on this holiday season?
No, I don't. Not in particular. But I think that if it was something I could make something with, I'd probably put a lot of hours into it. So that's why I'd be willing to pay more.
Are you thinking about the Miniko's Night Market? That's a game that's been kind of blowing up people's minds lately. You run into people on the street, you run into people on the train when you're heading to work, and people say Miniko's Night Market. Are people playing it? What are people saying about it?
Honestly, the other day when I was on the train, someone did talk to me about Night Market, and it sounded really appealing to me. So I might try it out.
Allan, I see that you're back. Can you hear me? Can you understand what Lex is saying about Miniko's night market and her commute to her job in Boston, Massachusetts? Lex, I'm sorry that Allan has not been able to respond to you, but everything that you're saying is absolutely you're on the right track. Are you what some people might call a comfort game? Or it's not comfort gaming, is it? It's something else. What's that?
Yeah, I would say I look for comfort in my games. I'm not someone who wants to be like shooting people up in a game. Like, I'm not one for like gore. I definitely like things where like I can kind of like take some liberty, like make a space look nice, or like, I don't know, like something like Sims, or like I enjoy stuff like that where I can like play around.
Allan? Hello? Allan? So Allan, Lex, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
Did you hear Allan just now?
Yes, and I believe I may have seen an apparition of Allan on the screen.
All right. Well, Lex, I want to ask you one last question before we let you go. And
there he is.
Allan, Allan? Can you hear me? Not if you can hear me. Allan? No. All right. Well, Lex, I'm sorry that we couldn't get Allan on the phone. He's clearly he's some sort. Lex, I'm going to go ahead and hang up and see if I can get Allan on the phone. Thank you for your call. I'm sorry about the confusion, but we are talking about the spreadsheet. What I would recommend is during your sickness, while you're off of work, go ahead and make your own spreadsheet. And then next time we do another emergency broadcast on the spreadsheet, we'll be able to take a look at what you've got going on your end.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Robbie.
Thank you so much, Lex, and have a happy holiday season, and I hope you feel better.
Thank you so much.
Allan, is that you?
No, Robbie, this is Dominic.
Hey, Dominic, how are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Whereabouts in Pennsylvania? It's a big state. The famous thing James Carville says about Pennsylvania, you remember it?
No. Berks County?
I think it was Carville that said it's like Pennsylvania is interesting because it's Philadelphia on one side, Pittsburgh on the other side, and Alabama in the middle.
That's accurate.
Thank you for saying that, and I'll, if I ever speak to James Carville, I'll say that the words that he has spoken as as one of the major political figures of the 20th and 21st centuries, that the people know his words.
I feel very informed and enlightened, and I thank you for that information, Robbie.
So, Dominic, go ahead and tell me, what games did you buy during the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, and what games have you been playing, and are they the same games? And if they're not the same games, there's no shame in it, because the problem is, I think greater than one person.
Well, I have not purchased anything over the Black Friday sale, but I have been playing a lot of Silent Hill 3.
Silent Hill 3 on the PlayStation
recently?
PlayStation 2, but
yeah.
not the HD collection on PlayStation 3. My mistake.
No.
3 I think is an interesting one because it is one of it. Some people think of it as a kind of a lull in the series, don't they?
I heard the same thing about 4, but I find myself pretty excited for those first 4 Team Silent titles.
Well, I must say that Silent Hill 4, I do believe, actually started off as a non-Silent Hill game.
Is that so?
I could be wrong about that. I have so many windows open that I don't have the ability to check that and double check my own facts, but maybe someone in the chat, if you're Silent Hill 4, if you're a fan of The Room, Silent Hill 4 The Room, as opposed to the film, obviously, and if I don't know what, there's several people calling me, Allan. So if you're gonna call me on the line that other people are calling me, you have to tell me what phone number you're using. Thank you so much, Allan, in the chat out there somewhere, Dominic. So how many hours would you? So you're playing on the PlayStation 2. So obviously you're not talking about a downloaded version of it. So you must have bought the physical thing.
Yes.
Thank you. No one. Dominic, do you know how Twitch works?
No.
All right. Well, someone just pinned something, and I thought it was a sub, but in fact it was a pin that said, "No one call Allan is attempting to call Robbie."
Oh, okay. Should I go?
No. I want to go ahead and finish up the question before we try and shift over to Mr. Resnick over there. But how many? That's probably about. That's between. If I recall correctly, that's sort of your standard kind of 5 to 10 hour game.
Yeah, but I'm slogging through it because I can only take so much at a time. It's a very intense game.
It's very absolutely. It's one of those games that you kind of have to like. It kind of hurts to play a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the best game that I never want to play again, but I love the experience. I think my memory card says maybe like 8 or maybe like 6 to 8 hours right now.
The memory the memory cards do game time tracking?
Well, the games do.
Interesting.
It tells you it tells you in your save file how long you've been playing, and my save file is like roughly 6 to 8 hours right now, I think.
Bloody hell. If I had known that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
If I had known that, I wouldn't have gotten rid of my PlayStation 2 so quickly. I could have had all those PlayStation 2 games on the spreadsheet.
It might be a game specific thing though. It might not be a system specific thing.
Right. So if you could do me a favor at some point, take a screenshot of what you're talking about, even if it's just you take a picture of the memory card menu with your phone. Next time we come back and do the spreadsheet, I'd love a chance to and actually send it to electronicgameinformation@gmail.com. Then we could take a look at that memory card in future, and then we can come back and revisit this topic, because I'm very interested in the possibility that the game time tracking, because I do believe I still have some of my PlayStation 2 memory cards stuffed away somewheres.
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. I didn't realize you guys were still using the electronic game information email. I thought this was the EGI.
So the EGI 2 is, of course, a completely unaffiliated show, but the fact of the matter is that we do have electronic game information at gmail.com, because when you spell all of that out and as one single block of text, unfortunately for Adult Swim, that they own a lot of us, but they don't own that specific Gmail account.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, thank you so much for your call, Dominic. Good luck with the terrifying journey of that blonde-haired woman through the lost shopping malls and various parallel dimensions.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Dominic.
And back to you, Allan.
Back to you, Allan.
Back to you, Allan.
Hello, you're on the air with the Spreadsheet.
Robbie, it is so good to hear your
Allan,
voice.
absolutely wonderful.
Hey, Allan, I'm back. I'm the number one
well,
Spreadsheet fan.
it's amazing to hear your voice, Allan. It's amazing to see your face, and to know that you've been waiting on the line all this time to give your special report on the Spreadsheet.
I've been trying so hard to get in touch with you, Robbie, and just hear you and be in the show. I always wanted to be on the Spreadsheet show, but I couldn't hear you.
Of course, and when you have an emergency broadcast, so many things can go wrong all at once, and this is what appears to be happening to us.
Yes. Can you see me and you can hear me?
I can see you and I can hear. There might be a little bit of delay, so let's just take a couple of breaths before responding to one another, just so people aren't confused about who's talking and what they are talking about.
I'll clap, and you tell me when you see the clap. 1, 2.
I saw it.
Okay, great. It looks weird though.
Yes.
Anyways, why did you call
So
me?
yeah, it's time to talk about the Spreadsheet. This is an emergency broadcast, Allan, because as you know, it was the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, and with the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday, and also my birthday coming in between the two.
Happy birthday! A big happy birthday to Robbie.
Happy birthday, Allan, and your thoughts are appreciated, and your voice is even more so. As a result of that birthday being in that very special period of time, of course, I made some very, very rash and quick decisions when it came to purchasing the games and the systems that I needed to continue with the live stream that I have of $1 per 1 hour of gameplay.
Understood. $1. Yes, that's just the general spreadsheet. That's the general idea of the spreadsheet.
That's the general, of course, idea of the spreadsheet. And as you know from speaking to me before the show, you know that I did, in fact, purchase a Steam Deck OLED.
Oh, you told me yes. You told me you were purchasing a Stream Deck to help with the show EGI, to help with all the tech issues, and I just want to say that you still have a few kinks to work out.
Absolutely, and back to you, Allan, and happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Robbie.
Thank you. Happy birthday to Allan, and here is, of course.
I'm hearing a beep.
You're hearing the beep, of course. That's just the sound of the. Allan, I think people are eager to hear the special report that you've prepared for the spreadsheet, because I spent $600 on a Steam Deck, but I also spent about $120 on games for said Steam Deck, even though I still own a great many more multitudes of games than that for on the Steam PC app.
Yes, this is a special report, a special correspondent, Allan Resnick, and I can hear you. So I'm here giving a special report. Something's wrong with my camera. Robbie spent, so according to the spreadsheet, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robbie spent $600 on a Steam Deck, which he thought was a Stream Deck, to make EGI2 a better program. He's currently launched a second program called Spreadsheet Program, which is, I don't know if he's using the Stream Deck on, but the $600 divided by the number of games he's got on Black Friday sale, and then I believe you'd want to add up all your current Steam library. I don't know if you need an expansion disc for your Steam Deck OLED, and I would love, just part of the special report is, and this is breaking news, is Allan would love to see the Steam Deck, to play with it, to hold it in his hands, and also get maybe some of the money that Robbie's getting from all the subs and bits and bytes on his brand new Twitch channel, and I am very proud of him, and happy birthday, Robbie. Back to you.
Back to you, Allan. Thank you so much for that special report. And we do have some follow-up questions for you, of course.
Of course.
So, Allan, as you know, one of the games that I did purchase on Steam many years ago was, of course, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yeah, classic game.
And I do believe we do have a screenshot of the spreadsheet with the Skyrim highlight. There it is, Skyrim Special Edition for the Valve Steam Store and PC app.
It's hard to read it because the text is small.
The text, if you could if you can get a little bit closer to the screen, Allan, maybe you'll see that there is, in fact, a great deal. There's a great deal of information that you don't want to miss when you do look at the spreadsheet here on this EGI2 splash.
Hard to see that.
So as you can see right there,
Spider-Man.
I did spy Spider-Man. I spot Spider-Man Miles Morales last Christmas for Steam for PC, but unfortunately I have not had time to play that, because as soon as
Robbie, you should play that one. It's a big AAA video game with crazy great graphics. It would look really good on an OLED screen.
Well, so back to you, Allan, and of course I think that most people, and you will be one of these people that is included in this, is that Skyrim also looks absolutely fantastic on an OLED.
Oh, I believe you, Robbie. I believe all games would look better on an OLED, but I think a modern game with big shaders and ray tracing would really look great. Back to you, Robbie.
Well, Skyrim is one of those games that absolutely has not aged a single day in my estimation of it. And Skyrim is an expansive world. It's got lots of side quests, lots of activities. You can buy your house, you can buy your apartment, you can put all sorts of furnishings and things, and the game just keeps going and going and going. So I was so happy when I got my Steam Deck OLED to find out that I could run it on ultra settings natively on the Steam Deck without having to do any sort of special whiz-bang overclocking, that kind of thing.
Running an old game on ultra settings it makes sense that it would be pretty much an easy lift for a powerful machine like that. And they have a new game. The same company, they have a new game.
Yeah, of course, Starfield, and Starfield, of course, has made I would say a medium-sized splash on the games industry that has the splash has become a ripple, And the ripple is at that part of the ripple where it kind of hits against the wall of the pond, the beach, and then the sort of ripple rolls back towards the center of the water. And from whence it came, I think it was either Chester A. Arthur or maybe it was the other one, the William Gladstone. Was it Gladstone, Allan?
Buckley? I'm not sure.
Gladstone, I believe it was, that said from whence it came, from the mind of man to the mind of God, and the matter in between it. I think that was Gladstone.
I don't know if that's accurate. But
So
I'm gonna have to take your word.
But the point of everything that I've been saying and all of these wonderful historically accurate quotes that I've been mentioning is the fact that when I purchased Skyrim, the original release of Skyrim with all the DLC, I think you'll find in the spreadsheet that it does say that I spent $50 in total, and that is $50 for the base game as well as the season pass with all of the DLC. So that's your Hearthstone, Dawnguard, and Dragonborn DLC. That's $50 total.
And how many hours have you put
And so
into it? That's the real part.
The real answer to that question is that I have put a total of 89 hours into that first release of Skyrim.
Okay, great.
And if you scroll down, if you use your mouse wheel to kind of scroll down, I don't know if your mouse wheel can control the spreadsheet the way that my mouse seems to be unable to do so. If you scroll,
mine is not working.
If you scroll down, you'll find that I also got the Skyrim Special Edition, which was a free upgrade if you owned the complete Skyrim on Steam when the Special Edition came out. Of course, if there is the Anniversary Edition that's out now that you do have to pay a little bit extra for.
It sounds like you spent quite a bit of money on Skyrim.
I only
bought it several times.
Well, here's the rub, Allan, is that I spent $50 on it, but with the 89 hours that I spent playing the original one and the 31 hours that I'm currently putting into the Special Edition one, thanks to my Steam Deck OLED. And let me tell you something, that was the first game that I installed on the Steam Deck OLED, and that is the only game that I have been playing on the Steam Deck OLED because it is such an experience. It has not aged a day. So, Allan, let's go ahead and do the math. What is 31?
31. And are you going to add?
That's 120. That's 120 hours, Allan. That's 120 total hours, and that means that for $50, that's pennies on the dollar. Exactly. So $50. 120 divided by 50 is, is it do you just divide the 50 by the 120 or that? Let's go ahead and let's Allan, let's take a quick break from this. I want to go and hit the lines again and see if other people have anything to say about the how we're supposed to be counting these things for the 50. It's 120 hours, $50. I know that's less than 50 cents an hour.
50 cents an hour. I love the spreadsheet, but it is confusing. I'm just happy to have made a small appearance on the spreadsheet show.
Allan, I'm going to go ahead. We're
330-4096. That's the number. So just.
Allan.
Hello.
Hey, you're on the air with the spreadsheet.
Hi. Hello.
Who are we speaking to this evening?
I used to go by Voldemort, and now I go by Perling.
Perling?
Hello. Yes.
All right. And where are you calling from?
I am calling from sunny California.
The sunny side must be on the other side because I'm in California as well, and it is dark as can be.
Well, I suppose it is right now. Yeah.
So
that's true.
Let me ask you something, Perling, which is that we've got this thing going on where I've got 120 hours into Skyrim and I spent $50 on it in total, and I'm trying to remember exactly how I get the dollars per hour out of that 120. Do you divide the 120 by the 50 or the 50 by the 120?
So you spent $50, right?
Yes.
So it would be 50 divided by 120. That's dollars over hours or dollars per hour.
Exactly.
So if it's 50 by 120,
that means that you spent about 42 cents an hour.
That's 42 cents an hour. That would absolutely 100% be less than $1 an hour per $1 per hour of gameplay. Wouldn't you agree there, Perlin?
Yeah, that's a good deal, I would say.
Absolutely. But the thing is, and this is the unfortunate situation that we have, is that I also bought Skyrim, and I think that we're going to go ahead and scroll to Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch, which I purchased for $30. And if you, Perlin, can you see the spreadsheet right now?
Give me 1 second. Let me see. Yes, I can.
So you can see there that there's a $30 price check on the Nintendo. If you actually go, I'm going to scroll back because you see it for the, there was a reason behind me switching the hours and the dollars on the PC and Xbox tab versus the Nintendo Switch tab. Right. So I have not spent any time playing the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So if you add in the $30 that I spent on Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch versus the $50 I spent in total on this different versions of Skyrim. Well, not the different versions, since the anniversary edition was in fact a free upgrade. Not the anniversary edition, the special edition, right? So that's $80 for 120 hours of gameplay.
That would be 67 cents per hour.
That's 67%. That's 67. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. I'm going to circle it. I'm going to show it to the camera because that, in fact, is still less than $1 per hour. So thank you so much for your call. Let's go ahead and knock you out. Also, wait, before I let you go, what games did you buy on the Black Friday, Cyber Monday extravaganza sales over the course of these holiday weeks that we've been having?
Oh man, I have a few games on my wish list that I've been trying to get. I've been wanting to get Hades for a while. I'm thinking about getting that.
How much are you willing to spend on Hades versus how much are you willing to put into it once you have it?
Good question. I mean, I like playing roguelikes quite a bit. So it has a very high replay value. So honestly, I would probably say a good deal probably be like $15 maybe, given the amount of playtime that I expect out of it. Because from all the things that I heard, people have a lot of fun playing.
So what? $15 is $15 on a sale. You're asking for some kind of a sale, of course.
Yes.
So what does it cost without the sale? $24.99, $29.99. How much was Bastion when it came out? How much was the other one?
Oh, it's about $25.
$24.99. So you're looking for $10 discount on a game that you probably spend a good 30 or 40 hours on, based on the type of game it is.
And speaking of, there's actually a discount going on right now for $12.50.
$12.50. Good God. This is the time. If you're on air and you're willing to purchase Hades live on air on the spreadsheet right now, that would be a historical first. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and say $12.50. Let's round it up to 13 because we always round up on the spreadsheet. 13 divided by 30, 40. That's let's say 35 hours. 13.
Yeah, sounds about right.
35. Divide the 13 or the 35.
13 and 35, let's see. 13 divided by 35, that would be about 37 cents an hour. 37 cents an hour,
and I'm going to go ahead and show that to the camera. That's 37 versus 67. That's what I would call a spreadsheet when Perling. So go ahead and make the purchase if you want. If you want to hold off and maybe you get it for $4.99, $7.50 next year, then also that is totally fine. But I'm going to go ahead and disconnect you and get another call going. Thank you so much for your call. Back to you, Perling. Who's on it? Who's on the spreadsheet now? Thank you so much for your call. Who are we talking to tonight here on the spreadsheet? This is the emergency broadcast of the spreadsheet, a sort of a branching off, a kind of a side story, or I think it's a guide. Is a guide-in of EGI 2.
Oh, wow. This is Kat.
Hi, Kat. Where are you calling from?
Be seeing the spreadsheet. I'm calling from New York.
You calling for the city, upstate New York, somewhere in the middle?
No, the state, from Ithaca, New York.
Ithaca, beautiful city, absolutely beautiful city. Allan, what do you think about Ithaca? Allan is unfortunately unable to join us in the way that he was joining us before, but what's going on in Ithaca during these wonderful cold holiday seasons?
Not a whole lot. The weather's not great. It's been raining, but other than that, it's nice.
So you're kind of cozy. You're holed up there in Ithaca. You're thinking about maybe purchasing some games for yourself.
I am. I did actually buy some games just last weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let's hear it. What did you buy? How much was it? How much of a discount did you get? And how many hours have you put into what you have?
So I bought Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, even though I've played both of those games before, but I didn't own them. But I bought them on Steam for under $2, which I was very happy.
That's two.
And then I also bought
both games for
Half-Life 2.
both games for under $2, or under $2 for the whole Half-Life opus. Is it an opus?
Under $2 for both games.
My God.
99 cents for each one.
Now I spent I didn't have the spreadsheet back when the orange box came out and back when Half-Life came out on PC, but I could promise you that I paid full price on the PC, which was around $50 at the time. That was down back in 2007, 2006 or 2005, 2004. Doesn't matter. $50, and then the orange box came out. I bought that day it came out for $60, and I don't know how much time I put into those things, but I know I finished that game several times. When I get off the spreadsheet tonight, I'm going to go back to the Steam Deck OLED and download Half-Life 2 once again.
I think that's a good idea. I've been replaying Half-Life 1, and it's still very fun.
So you're playing the original Half-Life 1, not the Black Mesa remaster?
No, the original.
Is there a reason why you were not going with Black Mesa?
Not really, except that the original was the one that was on sale for 99 cents.
Very good. That's a great answer. How many hours do you think you've put into it? Do you have your Steam app open?
Oh, I can open it really quickly. Hold on.
And while you're opening it, why don't you explain the reasoning behind Pathologic 2?
Well, I played a little bit of the first Pathologic, and I liked it, even though it was very confusing to me. And then Pathologic 2 was just also on sale, so I was like, oh, I should get that one and play it too.
The Pathologic games are a real interesting couple of games. I kind of put them in the same category of sci-fi, fantasy, slight horror as something like the Dark Tower books by Mr. Stephen King.
Yeah, I've not read those books, but I did definitely like Pathologic. I was very confused about how to buy things in that game.
Right.
But I liked how everything looked.
And the Pathologic 2, of course, keeps a very stylized look at that those games, the first game, of course, had, while also kind of upping the polygon count, resolution, what have you.
Yeah, I have not started Pathologic 2 yet, but I'm very excited about those extra polygons. Also, I played Half-Life 1 for 42 hours.
Yeah, Half-Life 1 for 4. Oh, God Almighty! We have a tier 1. We have some subs going on in the chat. Are you able to look at the chat where you are up there in Ithaca, New York?
I can look at the chat. Oh yeah, there are subs.
Okay, that's. I don't know if you know any of these people, Kat, but it's always wonderful to have a show begin in an emergency type situation with all of the issues that comes from launching a new program with very little time to prepare, and still people are holding on to are still here supporting us and supporting AGI2 and now the spreadsheet, which I think we can safely say is going to become a regular show on the EGI_2 channel on Twitch.tv.
I love that. I'm a big fan of the spreadsheet. It's making me want to start my own spreadsheet, even though I don't play that many video games. I think I should keep track of it.
What was the last video game that you played before you purchased these Half-Life 2 and the Pathologic 2?
Oh, I've been playing the Rusty Lake games, which are like mobile games.
And as a Ithaca, as an upstate New Yorker person, I'm sure those Rusty Lake games have a special place in your heart, considering the aesthetics and the landscape of the Rusty Lake environments.
Yes, and I also love Twin Peaks, and I love that those games are a little bit based on Twin Peaks.
I think I gotta say my hackles get a little raised at all the Twin Peaks references. But you know,
you think it's too much?
I think that people say Twin Peaks too much, don't you?
Well, it's hard for me to say that because I really like Twin Peaks.
Absolutely.
Respect that opinion.
There's no issue. You'll find no issue here on the spreadsheet with the Twin Peaks series of television shows and film. But I will say that Rusty Lake, of course, appeals to me in a different kind of way. If I can kind of take a moment to pause here. Well, thank you so much for your call, Kat. I'm going to go ahead and let you go because I do believe that we do have Allan Resnick on the phone waiting to get in. So thank you for your call. Good luck with the weather. Good luck with the Ithaca environments. And don't get too scared by playing that pathological. That stuff will mess with your head.
Thank you. I will keep that in mind.
Thank you, Kat, and talk to you again some point in the future, hopefully. Allan, is that you?
No.
God.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm not Allan.
Who are you, and where are you calling? Who are you? Where are you calling from? Back to you, Allan.
Back to you, Robbie.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the scoop? What's the rumpus? Where are you? What are you playing?
I'm calling from Connecticut.
Whereabouts in Connecticut?
I'm kind of near Yukon, a little town called Wellington.
Are you how close are you to the Metro North there?
I'm honestly not sure. But anyway,
Yukon?
I've been playing.
Is it on the west? Is that the west side?
No, more the east side of the state. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you in the hills?
No.
Are you coastal?
Not really. No, it's like sort of the central eastern part of it, I guess.
Central and eastern, so kind of closer to. What's the biggest city that you're close to?
Well, it's not a city, but University of Connecticut is sort of the, I guess, biggest deal around here, basketball and stuff.
Absolutely. So you're a big basketball fan?
Not particularly. I've just lived here most of my life.
Yeah, me neither. Okay,
yeah,
So what have you been playing? What have you been buying? What have you been buying?
So I just bought Ace Combat Zero for PS2.
Another PlayStation 2 player. This is a very, very fascinating study in what people are actually playing right now. Ace Combat 2. Why did you pick it up?
Well, I played Ace Combat 7 last year. It was my first Ace Combat game. And I was blown away by it. So I played through basically the entire rest of the series. And I'd never played another sort of aerial jet combat game, and I had a blast with all of them.
Are you going to go back to all the way back to the original? Are you going to go back to Air Combat and Ace Combat on the original PlayStation?
Absolutely. I unfortunately am not able to play the arcade ones. That was like where the series all began. But
do you have some sort of are you doing any sort of emulation, of course?
Yeah, for the first two, it was kind of just those games they're like 2-hour games, so I kind of figured it was sort of the best deal to just going by your spreadsheet. I think no matter what price I got them at, the games being about 2 hours long was kind of more worth it just to go that route.
Of course. And now, are you you're interested in the flight combat stuff? Are you planning on looking for any of the other sort of modern-ish flight combat games when you finish up with this Ace Combat kick that you're on right now?
Yeah, I've heard about, I think it's called Project Wingman. I believe that's on Steam. And that one seems pretty interesting, so I'll have to check that out.
Are you interested in any of the space combat games?
I've heard, Wing Commander is one of those, right?
Wing Commander, absolutely. It's a bit more of a throwback than maybe you're even prepared. It's a bit more. Let me try to say that again. It's a bit more of a throwback than maybe it's an old game. Of course, it's an old game, but it's a great game, and especially if you enjoy the story portions of said games.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about them. I've always heard them brought up, and I'd definitely be willing to give them a try.
Well, someone in the chat just mentioned
I'm not really sure.
What basically just read my mind, which I was going to say, if you're going to go ahead and dust off the old PlayStation, might as well get into some of the Colony Wars games.
Okay.
And are you also a Steam gamer?
Here and there. My laptop is not the best for stuff like that. But it's a little finicky, but I've been able to get some stuff going on there.
You're talking about a PC laptop?
Yeah.
What kind of card you got in there, son?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm more of a console guy, so I'm not 100% sure.
Right on. I'm right there with you. Well, I was gonna go ahead and recommend, if you don't want to mess with the PC stuff, I was gonna recommend you a game called Chorus. But if you're still, what iteration of console are you on at this point? What's your high bar?
Yeah, I have a PS5.
You have a PS5, so you would have no problem running.
Yeah.
You should check out Starlink if you can.
Okay.
Of course not. Something just happened. Did you hear that?
I did not hear a thing.
All right. Well, Starlink, the Battle for Atlas?
All right, I'll write that down.
Well, that's a space combat game. Of course, it's inspired by the Star Fox series, but I think it does a little bit more to kind of modernize that type of gameplay, even more so, I think, than the step between, say, Star Fox 64 and Colony Wars, which is, they did come out around the same generation, but I would say that Colony Wars has aged maybe perhaps a little bit better than the Star Fox games. But you can go ahead and check out Starlink if you feel like that is the type of game that you're going for after you finish your Ace Combat. Well, one more thing I'll ask is that, Ace Combat, Starlink, Chorus, all these games make me think about the mech combat games. Are you interested in any of those?
I mean, I played Armored Core 6 this year, and I played a couple of the older ones before that. So it was, the sort of similar series in some ways. So definitely had a lot of fun with those too. Yeah.
Well, then I don't have anything else to say to you. I think you're on the right path. But I want to ask one last question, which is, of course, how much did you pay for Ace Combat 2?
It was actually Ace Combat 0. On PS2. The thing about it is that I paid $15 for it.
Ace Combat 2 is on PlayStation.
eBay. Yeah, but it when it came here, I
is Ace Combat 3 on PlayStation 1?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
But if you know anything about that game, it's sort of like the US version is a little bit neutered compared to the Japanese version. But I got the translation patch and played through that on emulation.
So what are you using to emulate these damn things?
It was DuckStation.
DuckStation. So you're not using one of the handhelds?
No.
I would. This is a breaking news. There's supposed to be a breaking news graphic. There's breaking news. EGI. This is first EGI 2. Great. So it's okay. I'm trying to page through the Stream Deck. Do you got a Stream Deck at home there, son?
I do not. No.
Well, you can set up pages. So I set up all these pages, and I don't know if you can see, there's buttons with different pages, and there was supposed to be a whole series of buttons here with pop-up graphics, but they've all gone.
Okay, I think I saw that.
Well, I was going to recommend that you go ahead and get yourself a retro handheld to play some of these old PlayStation games on. You don't have to worry about finicky PCs or even hacking into consoles if you wanted to go ahead and just get a $60 or $70 handheld Retroid Pocket 3 or whatever. Thank you for your call. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. Then we will come back to you with more news and more emergency broadcast for the spreadsheet. We will return very soon. And of course, we are back with the spreadsheet here on. We are back here on the spreadsheet. It's the EGI _2 special emergency broadcast of the spreadsheet. Perlane has got to go to the potty. Thank you so much for pinning that to the chat. And we are, of course, going to go ahead right back into what we were talking about before, which is, of course, the spreadsheet, which I have been recording. If you have gone ahead in the past few years and watched Electronic Game Information or EGI2, you know that I have a spreadsheet in which I record all of the games that I purchase, as well as how much I pay for those games and how much I play those games. And it is a special spreadsheet that I keep that is very dear to my heart, and of course is a representation of a mission that I have to spend $1 per every if I spend $40 on a game, I want to spend 40 hours playing the game. So let's go ahead and get right back into the spreadsheet. I know that people are eager to hear about what's been happening with the spreadsheet. We have, of course, right now the Nintendo Switch. This is the Nintendo tab on the spreadsheet open right now. Let's go ahead and dive right into some issues that are popping right up, because the first thing that is coming up for me is, of course, that I have purchased Dragon's Dogma on the Nintendo Switch for $11, and I know that that's actually was more like $15, but I think I had enough gold points when I purchased Dragon Dogma on the Nintendo Switch to knock a few bucks off of the price of Dragon's Dogma on the Nintendo Switch. You see that I spent about 4 hours playing Dragon's Dogma, and then you would say to yourself, well, 4 hours for it's 11. Said 4 hours, $11. So that's about 70 somewhere around 70 cents a minute for Dragon's Dogma. You think, well, it's $1.70. 2 plus. Let's go ahead and hit the phones and see what people are saying about the spreadsheet, and if people are still Okay, so go ahead. You're on the spreadsheet with me.
Oh my God, it's Robbie. Hi, Robbie.
Where are you calling from? Who are you?
Hi, this is Jan Redmond from upstate New York. I'm kind of between Saratoga and Vermont.
Absolutely love to hear it. Saratoga is, of course, the land of 1,000 lakes.
A lot of horses, a lot of gambling, a lot of kind of a den of. Never mind.
No,
never mind that.
It's the Finger Lakes and 1,000 Islands.
Thousand Island dressing. We didn't have that at the sandwich shop where I work, but a lot of old people asked for it.
Great. Well, what are you playing? What are you buying? How much did you spend, and how much are you playing?
Well, I bought a Avalanche run for about $300, and I bought a special cranker for about $100.
Special.
And I've got a transmitter in the mail for about $170. Those are effects pedals.
I was going to say, this sounds like you're kind of a synthesizer kind of situation going on. But you're saying it's.
I'm not very good yet, but I'm hoping that they'll make it more fun to practice, more fun to play, and that'll get more practice in.
So you're from upstate New York.
That's right.
What's the scene up there these days?
It's a cold, dark land. The Tri-City. It's pretty good.
Tri-City,
It's okay.
Syracuse, Saratoga, and not Rochester.
There's Greenwich. There's a lot of trees. There's mountains. There's Cat Mountain. There's a lot of mountains up there.
What I was asking more was about the music scene these days. If you're a musician, if you're spending all these money on pedals and effects, gewgaws and doodads, what kind of music are you trying to play out there in upstate New York?
Oh, I don't gig at all. I'm not very good at all. I jam in my bedroom.
You're jamming at home. The sound of music is for you and your ears only.
The scene is like a wool blanket and some nice orange string lights, and I sit down and I mess around, and there's some problem with humming, but I fixed that. I got a new cable for that, so that worked out in the end.
So when you're not jamming at home, Joe Botnick said, "Call her jamming in the bedroom." I don't. Is that like a what is that? An acronym? What is that?
What's an acronym?
So you're jamming when you're not jamming in your bedroom and you're not playing this beautiful music for yourself for only your world. The world. Music is like a world, right?
It's like it kind of builds my internal life.
Yes.
And I go to work and people don't know about that, but it is there.
I have the same whenever I'm on the bus or the train and I'm heading to someplace somewhere in the city. I look around and I say, I wonder if any of these people know how much time I spend on the spreadsheet. And maybe you probably think the same thing about when you're on your commute and do you listen to your own music on the commute, or do you just keep that? Is that just one type of play for one type of space?
I've recorded 2 short songs, and one of them is a minute long, and I did like it, and one of them is about 30 seconds long, and it gets worse every time I listen to it. But I've been listening to a lot of My Bloody Valentine on the commute to work. I really like the shoegaze music. That's some good stuff.
You were My Bloody Valentine fan here on the spreadsheet. Do you just consider you a musician, or do you also consider yourself a game player of some kind?
Oh, I play games, and I actually pulled up my Steam, my most played list. Hang on, there's going to be some feedback for a second.
No problem.
It's taken care of.
Thank you. I heard
see
none
if I
of
can
it.
pull up some good deals. So, Tabletop Simulator and I'm going to omit some because I think they're just ones that I left open. And Tabletop Simulator is one of those. I did leave it open for a long time, but I think that's great value. I played that for 562.8 hours. And
562. Full price. Do you pay for Tabletop Simulator, or you just pay for the DLC?
I didn't pay for any DLC at all.
Well, I mean, because Tabletop Simulator is kind of like a software for playing other board games, right?
Yes. I only used the workshop, but I did.
Oh, you only used the.
I did buy a 4-pack, and I think I bought 2 more for 2 other friends. So that will have taken it up. Oh, geez, I'm outing myself as a big spender here.
Oh no, go ahead.
Totally
I want to hear all these numbers, because we're gonna go ahead and see where if you're anywhere closer to just with Tabletop Simulator, because let's say go ahead and just say Tabletop Simulator is almost like a system unto itself. So let's go ahead and hear about. So you bought Tabletop Simulator for full price. What is that? $19.99?
Yeah, that's $19.99.
Okay,
we can
so
round that up.
Round that to
we
20.
Can round that up to $20.
And you got a 4-pack of some kind.
4-pack, and that was $60 rounded up. And then I got 2 more for 2 other friends. So that was another $40.
Oh, I see, because the multiplayer is
about $120.
$120 for 562. And I'm just gonna say, let's go ahead. You said you just kind of leave the game on sometimes, or you walk away.
I would make cubes for Magic the Gathering and cubes for Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, where you can shuffle these cards together, and people don't have to build their own decks. If you have friends who aren't willing to spend 500 hours in Tabletop Simulator making their own decks for all these different games, then you can just sort of shuffle the cube and distribute it out, and when they have the time to play, you can invite them onto the internet. But actually,
it's a red. Sorry, someone in the chat is asking about the red light. The red light is because it's an emergency broadcast of the spreadsheet. But so, sorry to interrupt you there, but I do want to get to the meat of the issue here, which is that when you're walking away, when you're leaving the game open and you're walking away, that's not time that you're actually playing the game.
It's true, and that's kind of intangible. That's difficult to figure out.
But I mean, are you going to the bathroom? Are you going to make a meal? You're saying that you're doing some cubes. You're doing something with cubes?
Probably going to the bathroom, probably making a meal, some instant noodles.
I mean, let's just cut 150 hours out of that. I mean, how long have you owned this game?
I've owned it since it doesn't say. A couple of years.
Couple of years. Okay. So you play it, say every few days, probably, just based on what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I mean, not anymore.
Okay, here comes the math. All right, so it's 365 days in a year. Let's just say straight out 3 years. But we're not going to say that you've been playing at 365. Now this one I can do. So 365, 9, 18.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there together.
So that's 1,095 days in 3 years. So let's go ahead and divide that by 3. That's 365.
Okay.
Of course. Not looking good. All right, so that 365. If you're playing that 1 hour a day, 365. Let's see. Let's go ahead and slash off.
Cut the end off there.
I'm gonna go ahead and say we're gonna slash off 200 hours off of that 562.
Oh, that's kind of a brutal cut, but
guess what? If you divide 365, wait, 365. No, sorry, 362. See that last bit, the last 62, 65, 62, 362 divided by 100 is, of course, That's 36 point. That's 37 cents.
That's either good or bad.
That's 37 cents an hour, son.
That's 37. That's great.
That's
great value.
And that you can copy this. You can take a screenshot of this, show it to your friends, show it to your parents, and say, you know what I've been doing? I've been practically minting my own money by playing Tabletop Simulator.
67 cents an hour. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. You holding that up? I'm gonna send that to my mom. I'm gonna send it to my ex and to all my friends, and they're gonna learn.
Absolutely.
They're gonna know.
Thank you.
How much value I can squeeze out of a good game.
Good on you for buying extra copies of Tabletop Simulator games for your friends and keeping it all social, keeping it all friendly.
You gotta share the love.
Absolutely. Thank you for your call. Stay warm up there in upstate New York.
All right, thanks. Back to you, Allan.
Back to you. It's upstate New York. Hello, you're on the air with the Spreadsheet. We haven't really. We've been spending so much time doing the. We've spent so much time doing the math with the spreadsheet in hand. We've basically not been able to look at the spreadsheet. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what games have you purchased recently?
I think you might be very happy to hear this is Caleb from Greece, Massachusetts, yet again.
Caleb, there is a character that you remind me of from an old book.
Oh.
He's a caller of some kind. You know, he's one of those people in the old towns that comes around. People are like, this guy's always calling on me. And we don't know is the intention good or is it nefarious?
I don't know myself some days.
So, Caleb, you're here now. We're doing the spreadsheet. What's on your mind?
Well, I have quite the playtime on a little game called Dead by Daylight. It's the one I have the most on my Steam, which I have it pulled up right now. Used to be embarrassed by how much time I spent on it, but now I'm pretty impressed by it.
Now, are you so you're a Dead by Daylight aficionado of some kind?
I would say so.
Are you someone who's going off and getting all the expansions and extra characters and what, I guess themes? Is it themes? Would you call them?
The DLCs, the different survivors and killers as they come out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try whenever I can afford it.
So how much would you say that you've spent in total on Dead by Daylight? And I hear that you can see that. Can Robbie hear Perlane? Is Perlane with us?
There's some of the DLCs you can buy with they're called iridescent shards, which you earn throughout the game.
Is that kind of like bits?
Sort of. Yeah, you just earn them by playing the game and just getting achievements and whatnot. But
is it sort of like a Warframe or something like that? Like where the more you play, the more you get?
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of the premium currencies. It's a little bit harder to get than blood points.
So I don't, that basically counts as a kind of reward system, a kind of a currency, and it's sort of like Nintendo Gold points, I think. So I don't ever count those towards the total cost. I used to count them towards the total cost of the game, but then I realized, I do round up on all these other things, so I would be kind of shooting myself in the foot.
Right. So I wouldn't be counting those either. I'm just counting the monetary cost of each one I spent money on, because you can use those free iridescent shards on survivors and killers that are not from a franchise.
I think when you see iridescent shards, I kind of think of those ice spells in Skyrim. You know which ones I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Those sometimes they'll just stick out for a really long time, even after the corpses lied on the ground for a very long time.
I think so. I think all the corpses and the entity and the killers are all made out of some non-flesh
what? So how much? Let's talk. Let's talk hard cash here. How much do you think you've spent in total on this Dead by Daylight? And almost, it's games like this are almost like a system unto themselves, similar to what we were talking about before with feller from upstate New York and Tabletop Simulator.
Right. Yeah. No. It definitely is. So I would say, let's see, how much money I've spent on all of the DLCs in general is $40, and then the game itself is $20. But this is also not including any skins and little cosmetic pieces I've bought.
Oh, microtransactions. There's not a receipt. You don't have it just like a ballpark figure?
I would say a ballpark figure. Oh God. Embarrassingly, maybe $70.
Nothing embarrassing like that. You're getting a lot out of it. You're spending. You're still in the. That's $130 for a full suite of games and game and content. I think is pretty not bad. If you had purchased, say, I don't know, let's just say Skyrim for the the season pass at the same time, you'd be spending about $90 back in 2011, and you round that up with these prices today got above maybe $105. So what I'm trying to say is that you're somewhere in the safe zone, Caleb.
No, I definitely, I would actually say I'm pretty safe, especially for the amount of time that I've put into this game. Dear God, I've put in, let's see, 1,135 hours.
Now, I want you to be 100% truthful with me about that 1,135 hours. Which is good. I would round down to 135. All right, so how much of that's just pure gameplay, you're telling me? That's not just like you getting up and leaving the game open, walking away, using the restroom, go ahead and cooking the meal, making your Magic the Gathering cubes? Someone was talking about that earlier. Was that the guy from upstate New York with the musician?
I believe so.
I mean, that's a fantastic set of numbers there, Caleb.
And yes, I don't spend much time with the game open, just stalling in the background.
You can't, can you? Because it just shunts you right into the game. These types of
it does.
What do you call them? Asymmetrical.
Yes, it is an asymmetrical. It's a 1v4.
If someone in the these numbers don't make. I'm looking at the number right here, and it does. I'm looking at the number. It just doesn't make any sense to me. How much
doesn't make any sense?
is it? Are you spending? Can someone in the chat maybe do the 1,130? I'm gonna go ahead and we gotta knock some hours off of there, son.
I will say, I wanted to mention that there used to be. Now I've been playing this game for, I want to say, 3.5 years. The queue times used to be just vile. They used to be abhorrent. You would be waiting, I would say, and I primarily play killer, so you'd be waiting maybe upwards of 30 minutes.
Oh, you'd be holding back to queue. As long as you're sitting in front of the computer, as long as you've got the game open, as long as you're not fiddling around with it in the kitchen or going to the bathroom or hanging up your Christmas lights, as long as you've got the game open and you're paying attention to it, I do count that as game time. And then,
all right, then I have full game time. I don't run it in the background.
But you have to take it into account. There's probably there's maybe some time before the game actually kicks in on your PC there. I mean, even if you shaved off 45 hours over 3 years, you'd still have 1,095 hours for $130.
That seems like a very good investment to make.
And so you can go ahead and purchase some sort of AAA, knock 'em back kind of 6 to 8 hour game for the full price of $60, and you'd still be well within the realm of getting to that $1 per $1, or at least keeping your numbers at that $1 or below per hour of gameplay.
Yes, of course, and I fully trust your calculations on this. I am definitely not I'm not an entity of numbers. I am more of a literature person myself, so I'm glad you're able to crunch those numbers for me.
Someone in the chat actually crunched them for us. 12 cents an hour for that last.
Oh, would you look at that?
12 cents, 16. Someone said 16 cents an hour. Well, Caleb, I gotta say, I don't know you. I've never met you personally, but I'm proud of you. You're like a child of mine. Although if we were in the old town, if we were in the old world together, and you came knocking at my door, I wouldn't burn you at the stake, but I wouldn't. If the magistrate decided to take you to court, I would not be able to hold them back.
I greatly appreciate your hospitality.
Thank you so much, Caleb. Stay warm up in Massachusetts, and stay frosty. Stay warm and frosty. Well, you're playing Dead by Daylight, so you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
All right.
I do. Thank you so much.
Have a good night. Hello, you're on the air with the Spreadsheet. We are just talked to Caleb, who has just a fantastic game per hour cost per hour of game played.
Hi, Robbie. That's great to hear.
So, who are we talking to now, and what have you got for us?
This is Adam from Chicago.
Adam, absolutely. Chicago, of course, the city that never sleeps. We are so excited to hear about that wonderful classic. It's a classic city. You gotta say, it's a classic city.
I want to talk about Pathologic 2, Robbie.
Pathologic 2. Oh, we're back at the Pathologic 2. Now, I'm going to go ahead and Pathologic 2 is one of those games that I've probably watched reviews of probably 5 or 6 times over the last couple of years. I own it. I know I do. But I also know that I have never gone around to playing it. So what's your interest in the Pathologic 2 series?
The writing is off the chain. And to be honest, I think it's up your alley. The gameplay is brutal. The game is mean to you in ways that I find interesting.
Now, I always think of what Pathologic and Deadly Premonition, I feel like I always lump in the same kind of category of games. Is it janky in the same way as the Deadly Premonition series?
Oh, yeah. It's quite janky. And I want to complain about some jank.
A complaint?
A complaint. I bought it on PlayStation 4. I paid maybe $5 for it.
All right.
I probably played it for 10 to 15 hours.
Wow. Absolutely fantastic. That's a great start.
Good ratio.
Yeah.
The game warns you on the loading screen, save frequently. This is a deadly and fucked up place. You should save a lot. And I listened to it. I saved all the time. And at one point, I think I'm probably 2/3 of the way through the game, it says, hey, you saved 100 save files. I can't save anymore.
What?
So I go into my save files, and I delete all of them except for the one that says do not delete, and the newest one, and then the game didn't recognize my saves anymore after that. I lost all my progress.
That's one of the saddest things I think I've heard in a very long time.
Yeah, so careful if you're going to play it on PlayStation.
Well, I promise you that I since I have not gone ahead and bitten down and purchased the PlayStation 5 for myself, I assume it's also on Xbox, but I don't even have it. I've gotten rid of everything currently except for the Steam Deck, my PC, and the Nintendo Switch. So I know that if I do own Pathologic 2, which I'm pretty sure I do somewhere, it's not on the PlayStation or the Xbox.
I gotta bet it works better on Steam than on the console.
Now let me tell you, you told me a harrowing story. I'm gonna tell you a harrowing story, which is that there is a web browser game called Guess That Game. Are you familiar with it?
I don't know Guess That Game.
Yeah, you know Guess That Game?
No.
Oh, if you go to guessthatgame.com, you will find a daily screenshot that you have 6 chances to guess where the game is from.
Oh, fun.
And it's almost like a kind of a like Wordle, but with screenshots instead of vocabulary or word or just memory. I mean, it is memory.
Sure.
So it's just using your gaming memory, and it's a fantastically addictive browser-based game. And I must have played it. I played it for about 3 weeks straight, and this is because of a friend of mine who teaches at my old high school in Tallahassee, Florida. She told me that I would like it because her kids have been playing it. So I went ahead and opened it up, and 3 weeks later, I had maybe out of the 400 games posted, I had guessed maybe half of them, and most of that half of them I've guessed on the first or second try.
There you go.
So fast forward to 3.5 weeks into learning about Guess That Game. Guess the Game. Guess That Game? Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
If you look it up, you'll find it. If you look Guess That Game or Guess That Game, you'll find it. And I was there at the time, and maybe they've changed this because this does seem like a pretty bad oversight, that you can't make an account on the website. You see where I'm about to get at?
Yeah, you lost it.
I lost the progress. And to go back and to play it and to try to answer all of them again just feels almost like
you had so much of it in your brain already.
Well,
Those games are fresh.
but how many games did I guess on the second or third try that I'm going to guess on the first try because I'd already gone through the whole guess the game, guess that game live.
You'd have a dishonest record.
I would have a dishonest record.
That's a shame.
It's a tough one, and when you talked about losing your pathologic process, all I could think about was guess the game, guess that.
Well, hey, yeah, it happens to all of us, and that's nice to know that it's happening to everyone.
Well, so you're in Chicago. It's the city that never sleeps. It's a classic American city. What have you been doing for the holidays, and are you planning on purchasing anything going into the Christmas sales seasons, which I assume is if it hasn't already started, is going to start imminently.
That seems right. I want to play that new Mario, but I bet I won't be able to find it on sale.
Here's the thing with that. I bought I got Mario Wonder. I pre-ordered it, and I pre-ordered it with a Nintendo eShop game voucher. So
that's like $10 off at the end of the day or something.
Well, here's the thing. And I'm if you go, I'm going to open up the spreadsheet again. I'm going to see if I've got the correct tab open. I can show you I can't show it to you, but the fact of the matter is that I got 10% off eShop credit. So that's $100 for $90. $100 eShop credit for $90 USD. I purchased 2 eShop vouchers, which of course is how you purchase them. With that, I purchased Tears of the Kingdom, and then I purchased the pre-order for Mario Wonder. So I got Mario Wonder for $45, and I got Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom for $45.
Hey, not bad at all.
But here's the rub.
Tears of the Kingdom. That's
is that I've only spent about 35 hours playing Tears of the Kingdom, because after I purchased it and I put that time into it, I've started playing Assassin's Creed: The Rebel Collection on the Nintendo Switch, which is a game that I have trouble not playing.
You love an Assassin's Creed.
I don't like the Assassin's Creed games. I find them overwritten. I find them incredibly janky, and I find them really just in general annoying. At the same time, I just cannot stop playing those damn things.
Yeah, I only ever played the first one, and I've heard that they get less samey than the first one was, but I don't know from experience.
There's nothing. I agree with every opinion there is about Assassin's Creed, and every game in the series. If you say the Assassin's Creed 2 is the best one, if you say Origins or you say Syndicate's the best one, I simply agree with every. And if you say that any of those are the worst ones, I simply agree with every opinion on the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Wow. back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Chicago. What name again?
Adam.
Adam from Chicago. Thank you so much. Stay warm in that great American city. The tunnels, the wind tunnels that the buildings make are they're tough.
They're blistering.
It kind of reminds me of those icicles from the icicle spells from Skyrim.
Yeah.
Hello, you're on the air with EGI. It's the spreadsheet.
It's the spreadsheet.
And who am I talking to? Where are you calling from? What are you buying? What do you play?
Yeah, that's the matter, isn't it? I'm Damien.
Damien.
I'm from Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
I should be writing these names down because there's so many names that I'm learning. Second D name of the evening. There's Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
well, you got the boss,
He
right?
was from the Finger Lakes.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah. I've been listening, and I heard that guy.
All right. So Damien, where are you calling from again? Calling from Portland, Oregon. I'm going to write that one down.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you a little story about Oregon if you want to hear it.
Please take me on a journey.
Flashback to the 1890s. The Rackleff family had just established themselves as a fairly well-regarded trading post in Portland, Maine. And they decided to expand their business, so they sailed around the tip. This is before, of course, the easy way to get from one part of the continent to the other one through by sea, which of course was the Panama Canal.
Oh, okay.
So this is before the Panama Canal. So those dirty old Scots sailed around the southern tip of South America and ended up in Oregon. But they didn't end up in Portland. They ended up somewhere south, closer to Coos Bay.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I know what that is.
And they established themselves by building a sort of a small encampment, which became a settlement, which became a lighthouse called Rackleff Rock. And those were those filthy drunks, those Scots. Those were my ancestors.
Wow, okay. We got something in common. We got communal ground.
Absolutely. So when you say you're from, it doesn't matter where in Oregon you're from. The fact of the matter is, I consider everyone in that state somewhat related to me genetically, simply because my ancestors made their way there. Some of them died there. Their ashes or their bodies dissolved in the cells and the dust of the body, and the skin traveled through the air and inhabited all of the lungs of everyone in that very, very early state. It wasn't a state, it was still a territory then, I believe.
Mm-hmm. They're part of the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
So am I.
So that's
we're related.
Absolutely. So
wow.
Happy Thanksgiving and happy Christmas and happy holidays to you, member of the Rackleff extended family.
Awesome.
So let's get to brass tacks. What games have you been buying? What games have you been playing? How much have you been spending?
Okay. First, I gotta ask something. I gotta ask your opinion on something controversial.
All right, let's hear it.
Because it has to do with my answer. So, how do you feel about emulated games?
The only problem I have with emulated games is that there's not a really I haven't found. RetroArch can do it, I guess, but tracking game time in emulated games can be a tricky thing. So I avoid it unless I know that I can see in a save file somewhere exactly how many hours I played.
Okay. See, I spend a lot of time in emulators, but yeah. Now that you mention it, I don't have my time. You got me. Okay. I heard you mention Dragon's Dogma, though. Right.
Right.
You bought that one recently?
I bought it. I've purchased it 3 times. So I've purchased it
wow.
The first time for the good old games because it was on sale for $9. I purchased it a second time, and I do think I showed this in the screenshot of the spreadsheet for $15, but I had $3 knocked off thanks to my eShop gold points. And then because I got the Steam Deck and I didn't want to fiddle around with installing good old games on the Steam Deck right away, I know that there's workarounds, but you have to kind of. I just wanted to go straight to the thing. I purchased it for $4 once again, so that's close to 9 plus 13, 12. No, yeah, 9 plus 12. So $25. But I've only put about 4 hours into it, so I can't answer too many questions about Dragon's Dogma.
I can answer a lot, and I can tell you it's worth it. I have the numbers on there.
Okay, let's hear it.
Three different platforms.
You also have 3 different platforms.
I do. I have the original
PlayStation
PS3 release,
of course.
The original PS3 of the Dark Arisen expansion.
Did you get?
That's where you're really gonna get your money.
Absolutely. So did you own the original PS3 one and then buy the Dark Arisen DLC, or did you buy Dark Arisen as
when it came out? Yeah, I got the expansion when it came out, and I was
smart to wait.
I was real young then, but yeah, I managed to get in on the ground floor.
All right.
Right. So that game I played just all the way through the main story, like 90 hours.
90 hours.
But then you have, oh yeah. But with the expansion, that's gonna give you like, I'm just talking averages right now, not my personal time, but the expansion is at least another 30, because and the game even has a speedrun mode, which has a timer on the screen. So even if the platform doesn't give you a time, you can play in the speedrun mode, and it'll tell you what your time is every second.
And does it also? So every time you open up the game, you see exactly how much time you spent on it.
It doesn't. It doesn't count menus, but in the speedrun mode, it'll clock it, even for like pausing and stuff, I think.
So so you've got 120-ish hours. I always like to maybe round down a little bit, maybe knock about 10 hours off of something like that, 10% off in general. So let's say that's 110 hours. And how much did you spend on Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen?
That would have been release prices, so I think about $80.
$80 for the Dark Arisen? For the total
for the
package?
Whole, everything together.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it's still pretty good. And you said that there was other platforms, however.
Yeah, so I played it again years later on the PS4 for maybe only $20 for the whole thing. And I played that, the whole thing, all the way through.
Once again.
For like 200 hours. Because the thing is, the game has a lot of ways to get more time out of it. The expansion is one of those. The DLC is one of those. But there's two, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's two endings. And if you pick one of the endings, you get a whole nother, like, half of the game opens up. So if you know what you're doing, you can pick the right ending, there's a lot of, like, hidden quests and stuff, a lot of hidden events. So if you really want to max up, there's probably guides you can look into for this. But if you really want to maximize your time, there's just an incredible amount of stuff you can do. There's like repeatable dungeons. There's like end game content, where you can kind of fight these super bosses to get all the best equipment. So if you're really like kind of maxing out your character, then you can get an incredible amount of time on it. So, and I mean, recently I just bought it a third time for $3. Haven't booted it up yet, but $3 on Steam.
All right, so you've got what we're looking at right now, and this is me rounding down a little bit from that 200 hours that you mentioned. You still have 290 hours for $103. And have you played the Steam version yet?
No, haven't touched it yet. I just got it, but I'm ready for it. And I'm ready for it in anticipation of the second one that's coming out.
So I
think that's coming out soon in March.
I don't know if you can see this, but that is $103 for 290 hours of somewhere along the lines of 30 cents an hour.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty good. Doesn't beat that guy earlier. The
Dead by Daylight. No. Caleb is some kind of a different type of thing. It reminds me a lot of the characters, the character Martin Broadcloak from the Dark Tower series and comic books. You read those?
No, I stay away from Stephen King.
Too scary?
Too much cocaine. But yeah, too scary.
Fair enough. Thank you for your call. Again, Damien from Portland, Oregon, member of the Rackleff extended family by way of dead skin turned to dust.
Awesome.
All right.
Treasure that dust.
So let's go ahead and check in again with the next. Is this Allan? Allan, is this you?
Again, I was told to call back by a friend of mine, but I do have something spreadsheet related.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I'm a very big Death Stranding fan.
Absolutely.
And I bought, what's that?
Absolutely. Well, it's the type of game that people are fans of.
Yes. And when I got it, I got the Steelbook secondhand from eBay for like 60 or 70 when it first came out, because it was like when it just first came out. And I sunk.
Let's go ahead and say that's 70.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
I'm guessing that's the PlayStation 4 version, of course.
That was the PS4 version, yeah. And I'm trying to see. Hold on, just 1 second. I'm trying to see the amount of time that I spent, because I think the PS5 tells you like the hours you've spent in a game. Okay, so I don't have it on the PS5, but the director's cut that I do have on the PS5, which was only a $10 upgrade. I don't remember if it was the $10 upgrade or if it was just free with the game. But the director's cut on PS5 says I have it clocked in at 183 hours. So I would assume that the regular PS4 version that I played was probably around 120, maybe.
Oh wow! All right, that's a good. So 120. This is the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah, the PlayStation 4 version I would say is around 120 hours, and then the Death Stranding director's cut on PS5 was around 183.
So,
but the thing is, I also got both of them on Steam, and I played both of them on Steam as well.
So you got 120. Okay, so let me get this straight. You got 120 hours on the PlayStation 4 version, and then 183 on the director's cut for PS5.
PS5.
And how much did you spend on the PS5 version?
I don't remember if it was free, if it was like a free upgrade. No, I don't think it was actually. So I think it would have been a $10 upgrade just because it's considered a different game, but you still have like the disc copy of it. Okay.
So I think I'm pretty sure I did the same thing for the Steam version.
Yeah. On the Steam version for the regular non-director's cut version of Death Stranding, it says I have 167.3, and I think I would have gotten that for 20 around that time. $20.
So that's Okay, let's go ahead and try to actually knock this math out. So you got $120 or 120 hours plus 183 hours. That's 303 plus 167. That's 470. You knock 10% off of those hours.
Yeah, I would say.
So that's 423.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're looking at is at most $100. It's just $100.
For what was that? $420 or
423 for $100 worth of gameplay. Oh, sorry, $100 worth of dollars for 423 hours of gameplay. I mean, you could knock that down all the way down to 400. You'd still be only spending
25 cents.
25 cents an hour.
I could have sworn I had the director's cut on Steam as well, but I guess not.
Well,
maybe I only have the regular version. Maybe I couldn't justify buying it a fourth time.
Now, I have a complicated relationship with purchasing Death Stranding, which is that I'm pretty sure that I purchased Death Stranding I got Death Stranding for free when I got my PlayStation 4. But then I purchased it again on Steam for probably around $20. And then I guess I got the upgrade. And then I accidentally got the Humble Bundle, the Humble Choice monthly game, where Death Stranding was part of it. So I probably spent... I mean, I think that might be a 1-for-1 when it comes down to it. I can't crunch the numbers right now, but I can tell you that it was a good exchange, but nowhere near where you're at, son.
Yeah, well, another thing, like, I'm also in a complicated position with it too, because like I purchased it more times than I've played it, because I've also gifted it to multiple people.
Well, I mean, I don't count gifts.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, I mean, a gift is a gift.
Yeah, I'm just very ecstatic about the game, and very happy that other people are very ecstatic as well.
Well, thank you so much for your call, and let's go ahead and check in and see if we've discovered Allan somewhere out there.
Back to you, Allan.
Back to you, Allan. Let's see where he's at. Beginning to think that Allan isn't coming back.
Hello?
Who is this?
I'm Josh.
Josh, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, did your blue blocker just turn on?
No.
Did the blue blocker on Twitch just turn on?
I don't know what that is.
It's like the thing that you turn when you're it's late at night and you're ready to kind of start winding down the day at the computer, you turn on the blue blocker and it helps you so your eye strain isn't as bad. But you're not seeing it right now?
Oh, I have it set on my computer.
All right. Well, here's the thing. We've been trying to get Allan to do the true special report on the spreadsheet, and we have not been able to reach him. And it was an emergency broadcast. We were looking for the content. We were looking for the analysis that Allan Resnick brings to the spreadsheet. And we got a little bit at the top, but we have not been able to reconnect since the beginning of the show.
Oh, man. Well, have you said back to you, Allan?
Most people have been saying back to you, Allan. People in the chat have been saying back to you, and I've been saying back to you, Allan. I've been saying back to as many people's names as I can remember, but I've been so damn busy with getting all of these numbers onto the spread, not on my spreadsheet, but trying to help people, guide people in their own journey towards their own spreadsheets.
Oh yeah, you gotta crunch the numbers.
So my feeling is that I don't know. I'm not sure where we go from here, caller. And name who? What's your name and who are you where are you calling from?
I'm Josh. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Which part of Pennsylvania?
Berks County.
Now is that? Wait a minute. Did you call earlier?
No.
Oh, we just got two callers from Pennsylvania tonight. That's understandable. It's
my buddy Dominic called in.
Yeah, that's right. Dominic from and you probably know the James Carville quote about Pennsylvania.
Yes, I do.
Wonderful.
And I agree with it 100%.
So, Josh, what should I do? What have I done wrong here? Because I spent the last couple of days setting up the Stream Deck, trying to get all of these bells and whistles all figured out, and now just don't know where I went wrong. And we lost Allan.
Well, probably you should pray. That's all you can do. I don't know technology. I'm not a streamer, but maybe Allan will come back.
I do believe that we will be able to coax Allan back for EGI Stream 3, which we'll be doing Thursday night.
Ooh.
And that's going to be a 5 to 8 stream, and that's going to be more like the program that we have been trying to get off the ground from the get-go, as less of an emergency broadcast and more of a, building on the thing that we've already started to build.
Oh yeah.
And I do think that, and I do believe that Allan will be back for that. But was it worth it to just try and do something new on this new platform with these new bits of technology and a new format, and trying to just, if I might wax a little bit philosophical here, it's been such a rough time trying to figure out how to make EGI 2 work on Twitch. And part of the idea that I've been chewing on is that we must broaden the programming. Because if we just do the numbered streams, we're going to kill ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I think you've
this early
doing a great job so far.
This early in the process, we're not making any money. We're everything that we do get goes right back into the program.
It takes time.
But I just look at this picture of Allan that we've got up on the screen there, and I think to myself, I would do anything to shut this damn thing down and just have him and his voice and his thoughts with me. I'd like to hear him speak. I'd like to see him. And instead I just get this facsimile.
Well, I think you'll see him soon. In fact, he's probably closer to you than you think. Allan is always with us.
That is a good thought, and we don't recognize that enough. I don't know. We're always trying to reach out and create kind of a.
Well,
you sort of like.
They say, the wind blows hardest the closer you get to the mountaintop.
Who said that? Is it
some dude in Daredevil?
The wind blows hardest when you get to the mountaintop. But I always thought the wind blowed hardest when it was between the two peaks of the mountain, when you're in the gully.
Oh, you're getting all the way to the gully. I'm still climbing.
You're still going up.
Yeah, I'm still going up.
That thing is just blasting you.
Oh yeah.
Josh,
but the struggle's worth it,
I got to tell you that I have had such a difficult evening, and I'm so grateful to you and to everyone else that has that tuned in this evening for this emergency broadcast with. And I do, and we do strive to give quality programming to those who stick around. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes you just miss a couple when you're making buttons. You lose some of the buttons.
Yeah.
Josh.
Streaming on Twitch it's a weird thing.
There's too many buttons. There's too many windows. I don't know. We used to have a producer who would help run parts of the program for us, and now we're all doing it ourselves. And God above, holy crow, there's just too many goddamn buttons.
I can imagine. You have one of those streamer deck things you said?
I have a stream deck. I have programmed it. I thought I created pages that say, to have, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a page button here, so you can go to the different buttons I make, but the buttons that I made for the graphics didn't show up.
Ooh,
or I didn't save it properly.
That's a lot of buttons.
This phone is only 15 buttons. I could have gotten the 32 buttons.
There's a 32 button?
There's a 32 button one, and there's another one that's got a bunch of knobs on it. But I just got an old Scarlet mixer for that. Josh, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I just want to say to you, thank you for calling in and being the final caller of the evening. It's been a tough ride, but it's been worth it for me to have spoke to everybody and done all the maths. That's for Joe Botnick out there in the UK. I think he'll appreciate me with the plural math of the maths. And we will be coming back to you guys on Thursday, and I promise you, with a bit more help and hopefully a bit more eloquence.
Yeah.
Both in terms of our.
I've been loving the show. I made my own spreadsheet after your guys' first broadcast, and I've just been working away at that. You guys have inspired me to organize all of my stuff and play more games. Been playing a lot of Metal Gear Solid recently, so.
Which Metal Gear Solid we talking about before we kind of wrap this thing up?
I've been switching between 2 and 3, just doing the Foxhound rank.
All right. So did you get the re-release of the Collection 1?
No.
Just play. You're playing it back on the old hardware.
Yes.
Far out, man.
Hell yeah. Metal Gear Solid 3, my favorite game of all time.
It's a fantastic. I've met a lot of people who've felt the same way. Josh, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna say a couple more things before we end for the evening. Thank you so much for your call. Please call back. And also, one last thing about this is directly to you. Anybody else who makes the spreadsheet, if we decide to do another episode of the spreadsheet, we will make sure to let people know that they can send us their spreadsheets, and we will show them live on twitch.tv/EGI2.
Oh my god.
The spreadsheet.
That's awesome.
So the EGI2 is less of it's not just the show, but it's also the channel, right?
Yeah.
So we can do whatever we want, right?
Absolutely.
Because we don't have any of the gray coats in the big tower telling us what to do, right?
No, sir.
Absolutely. So we will come back with more episodes of the spreadsheet in future, but for now, we'll say goodnight to Josh, and we will say please rejoin us again on Thursday. That's Thursday, December 7th at 5 p.m. At 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 p.m. Pacific Time for EGI 2 Stream 3, in which we will be discussing the 2022 Game of the Year Awards. Since we didn't get to do a 2022 Game of the Year Awards for EGI 2, we're going to go ahead and do it on December 7th, and we will be giving out the awards for those 2022 games. And we will also be, of course, looking for artwork from you people. Everybody who wants to send in some artwork, let's just keep it to artwork. Keep the spreadsheets for the spreadsheet, and we'll do artwork. And we are so excited to bring back EGI 2 Stream 3. We will see you all on Thursday evening for a few hours. We'll have Allan there in studio. We will have James and Luke helping us out. Now go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and try to raid Luke Taylor's The Luke Man, who is now on air doing the chat havers. How do I raid? Does someone know how I raid? Use. Oh, someone did it. All right. Dash. raid. The emergency is still ongoing. There's still lots of the holiday season left, and we will definitely be needing to do another go at the spreadsheet, perhaps with more spreadsheet and with man. Now we got this /RAID channel. Good night, everybody.